Hey, I'm Drotos from keyboardimprov.com, and welcome to day 9 of our Rock Piano for Beginners Workout Challenge. And today we're going to continue on this concept of minimum viable piano, MVP, that I came up with to describe how you play, because we're not trying to create elaborate solo piano arrangements here. We're not trying to learn the fanciest bass lines. What we're trying to do is get experience playing with fluency like we play in a rock band. And that usually means playing what we can do kind of easily in order to flow with the music. And it doesn't have to be the fanciest thing. So for instance, if you walk into a rehearsal one day and they call a blues an A, like we've been doing, and you kind of hear in your head, okay, I'd love to play this fancy, you hear the bass line. Let's say the bass line was like, the drummer's playing, and you hear in your head something like, right? But you're not quite sure, it doesn't quite come out good all the time, right? You're not going to sort of raise your hand and say, excuse me, Mr. Jagger, can I take 10 minutes and just practice that? No. What you do is you find something that works. Right? And it sounds great, everybody's happy. Mick says, you're in the band, welcome, we go on tour next week. That's how things work. Then you go home and you practice that. Right? So this gives you the experience you need to start doing the other stuff. If you just start doing the other stuff, which most people do, you open a book, 40 pages long, you never end up jamming because you're always so scared. You think you got to play the whole book, right? So this is minimum viable piano, very powerful concept. And it's really the way that Mick Jagger and everybody else learned. So I'm going to set this for 20 minutes. And we're going to start with Along the Watchtower, which we did the other day. And then we're going to go into the blues today. So again, minimum viable piano. You do what you can. If you just want to play the chords in the right hand, you can do that. You want to play the octaves or a single note in the left, you can do that. If you want to solo, you can do that. Whatever works for you. I'm going to give you a little less instruction today, and you find your thing. So remember, All Along the Watchtower is an A minor chord, then G, then F. Actually, it's 1, 2, 3, something like that. Everybody plays it a little differently, right? So here we go. Whatever you want to play, you can play. Why don't you start, we'll start with the scenario that you're soloing and I'm accompanying you. And then at some point when I start soloing, you go to play the chords. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the point. So let's go to the blues, the 12-bar blues, and let's just review the chords. We have an A, a D, and an E chord, right? So we'll start on the A for 4 measures. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Now the D chord. 1, 2. Back to the A chord. E, D, A. Alright? So I'm just going to do that a few times, and I don't know what I'll do. I'll probably play mostly rhythm, so you can do whatever you want here. This is what I meant by minimal instruction at the beginning. You can solo this whole time. You can solo with the roots in the left hand. You can even play the chords in the left hand if you want. You could just play the chords if you want in the right hand, and anything you want to sort of follow along and have fun. Here we go. We'll start with that groove, and at a certain time I'll do what I did a few days ago, where I'll sort of change the rhythmic feel. 1, 2, 3, 4. that too. You can just play these chords in the left hand and just sort of really go for it. Have some fun. Just sort of wiggle your hands around. That was great. So we went through a lot of blues styles. Boogie woogie, we did some jazzy blues, we did some funk, we did some really slow, sort of almost like old Chicago kind of blues, or B.B. King kind of thing. Even did some sort of just really primal, like guitar, just chunk. That's the thing, these 12 bars can be used in so many different ways, in different styles, and to express different things, from more kind of like melancholy or sorrow, and then joy too, it's called the blues, but it's happy. So, it's that aspect of it as well. I'd like to just try another minimum viable piano. So this is just going to be the right hand. So you're going to basically walk into a session, and the band says, hey, we learned this new song, and it's in the key of A, so you can use the A blues scale, and this is how it goes. 3, 4. Right? Back in black, AC/DC. So you don't have to learn all that right away. We'll come back to it. But basically, you're just going to solo. How's it? 2, 3, 4. Like in that tempo. So you're locked into the drum beat, imaginary drum beat in this case, more than that left hand. But the left hand sort of catapults you, propels you. 1, 2, solo, and. Keep going. 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Simple, right? So the idea is it's not scary anymore. You hear this new beat, wow, can't believe it. You hear this new beat you haven't really played before, but you can adjust instantly. Minimum viable piano. You know the scale, you know some of the basic chords. Just go for it on whatever level you can. Have fun every step of the way. Thanks for joining me on this 31-day odyssey through basics of getting fluent with rock piano, a little blues in there too. If you're interested, I put a link to some lessons at keyboardimprov.com, sort of see some other ways and maybe some more advanced ways if you're ready for it to get some rock. I also have beginners courses there, but I think in that page there's just basically some little more in depth than we're doing here to augment it, things you can practice. And then put another link to a video you may enjoy, and then click on the picture of me if you want to subscribe to my channel and get different notifications. Thanks for being here. Good luck with your playing. Have fun every step of the way. I'll see you tomorrow.